Hardcore aerobatics is my term for the kind of flying that I like to do. Everything you think you can do in an airplane, everything you could even dream up, is what I like to do in my airplane. My name is Patty Wagstaff. I'm an aerobatic pilot, and I'm in St. Augustine, Florida. To be a good and safe aerobatic pilot, you have to have 100% concentrated focus on the activity at hand. And that's one of the reasons that I really like what I do, is because it forces me to get rid of all the other sort of extraneous thoughts and all the little problems and all the mundane, stuff that happens around you during the course of your life, and get inside this tunnel and think of nothing else but flying the airplane. Being a 3-time U.S. National Aerobatic Champion, I'm very proud of that because it's very difficult to do. There are 4 people that have won the Nationals 3 times or more. And I'm the first woman to win the Nationals and the only woman to have won it more than once. I think being a woman in, say, aerobatic competition is sort of a double-edged sword. I think that women are really encouraged to get into it and have equal opportunities. Sitting on the ground, you can't tell whether there's a man or a woman in the cockpit. But if a woman makes a mistake or they don't do as well, I think they're under more scrutiny than the men are. I think you really have to be a little bit better than the guys to prove yourself, and I like that. The airplane that I won the Nationals in for the first time in 1991 is in the Pioneers of Flight Gallery of the National Air and Space Museum, and it's sitting just behind one of my all-time heroes, Amelia Earhart. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, what a great honor. I can't even begin to describe what that feels like when I go there. Flying aerobatics close to the ground the way we do, real extreme aerobatics, takes an incredible intensity of focus. Anything less than that can result in danger or disaster or death. So the margins that we allow ourselves when we're very close to the ground leaves you almost no room for error. When you're flying these type of aerobatic planes, you wear them, and they really become an extension of you. So the airplane's wings become your wings, and you have to love the plane that you're flying. You have to understand all the systems, you have to understand the fuel system and how it works in case you have a problem. You have to know instantly what's wrong. You have to know everything about the engine. I'm not saying I could take it apart and rebuild it, but I'm a good troubleshooter, so it's like its heartbeat and keeping it healthy. I guess it's definitely my baby.
Clear.
When I perform a ribbon cut, I'm 22 feet above the ground. I'm about 160 knots when I cut the ribbon with my prop. I really love the sensation of skimming over the trees or over the beach, over the water, because it gives you a sensation of speed that you don't always get when you're up high. So I like to fly low, and I think that's one of the reasons I like to fly as low as I do. It really gives you a rush. It's really the mastery of this machine in a 3-dimensional airspace. When you're really comfortable with an airplane and you've really mastered it and you really can control it, that's the payoff. Doing vertical maneuvers and really nailing a perfect vertical roll is one of the hardest things to perfect. It may look the simplest from the ground, but I love them the most because they're very, very precise. To me, they're the most beautiful things to perfect and the most beautiful maneuvers to do. People that fly aerobatics in small planes like this subject themselves to a lot of G-forces. And in a normal air show routine, I pull up to 10 Gs positive and about 8 Gs negative. Negative Gs force all the blood up to your head and make your eyeballs want to feel like they're popping out. Negative Gs are very difficult, and they take months of conditioning every season. You would never take an uninitiated person up for a ride in an aerobatic airplane and subject them to 5, 6, 7, 8 negative Gs right off the bat, because you could do some permanent damage to their brain. Flying really gave me a lot of focus that I didn't have and a lot of discipline that I didn't have. And so I'm really grateful to it for that. I always felt like I was a leaf kind of floating in the wind. And when I started flying, even though it's the most freedom you can ever have, it's also the most structured and the most serious, really the most limiting in some ways, because you have to take it so seriously. I'm not a danger freak at all. I really like speed, and I like driving cars fast, and I like going fast. I mean, I would love to be in the next space shuttle. It's like you take a fast motion, picture, and then you start, the more you watch it, the more you can slow it down, and the more you understand it. I had to learn to focus. I had to learn to be one with the airplane. I had to find a way to get the idea that the judges were down there grading me out of my head, because it was so difficult to have a good flight knowing that you were being judged. And so many pilots go through this, and everybody does. I mean, Olympic level ice skaters go through the same thing, and a lot of times, most of the time, it's the people that have their head stuff under control that are going to win. If you're all at the same level, it's the people that have it here that are going to do better, because they can perform under pressure. My good friend Leo Ladensliger once said to me, "Patty, there are 3 things that you cannot deal with, and that's jealousy, hatred, and greed. And you will find all 3 of those in competition." He said, "You can't deal with it, so let it go, and don't let the creeps get you down." I've never had a flight that was boring or just mundane. Every flight is different. The weather is always different. The airplane always performs differently. The wind's always different. There's so many variables. And I think that the reason that I continue to do what I do, and the reason that I love flying and love aviation, is because it's always a challenge. It could never be boring, because it's never the same.